Hello, everybody. How are you doing? I am Georgia Rose from Zencuda, and this is Tuesday Night Live. So it must be 7 o'clock on Tuesday because that's usually when we do our live broadcast. So I'm going to give everybody a few minutes to come on. I hope you're all having a good day. Hi, Marianne. Hi, Colleen. Michelle, how are you guys doing? I am going to do a presentation tonight. Hi, Joanne, about goals and setting goals with intention. I actually did this class earlier today for a company that I work with. So I am thinking I'm going to give it to you guys as well because I think it's really worthwhile information. So I'll give everybody a few minutes to come on. So how are you all doing? Hi, Chris. How are you all doing? Are you all surviving this quarantine that seems to be going on forever? I find I'm having a hard time keeping my schedule. Like, I want to sleep in the morning, which is kind of weird because I'm really not doing a lot that would cause me to be tired. But it seems like that's what's happening. And I think it's just the inactivity. So today was a beautiful day here where I am. And we actually had a lot of warm weather and sun. And I took my dog for a really long walk. And he was getting a little winded. And because Sparky's just a lightweight. And so I brought him home. And then I went for a really long bike ride. So I had a lot of exercise today. So I hope you guys got out in the sunshine because it was just so beautiful. And it was so nice to see the sun finally. So I'm going to jump right in. My bangs are killing me because I cut them myself. I need Janine, if you're out there, my beautiful hairstylist. I call her my glam squad. If you're there, I need you desperately, but I know you can't come over. But maybe you could do an online thing with me so we can cut and color. So hi, Elaine. How are you? I can't wait to have my reading with you. And we're so... I can look at the camera. We're so delayed with all of this. So going to do a little thing tonight about goals. And the reason why I wanted to do this is because I felt like while we're in quarantine, maybe we could use the energy to think about goals and think about how we want to be, where we want to be when we kind of come out of this time period and we're back into our lives. And I know a lot of us have been thinking about that a lot and wanting to improve our lives when all this is over. So, hi, Elisa. So I thought I would give you the class that I gave to other people this morning. Hi, Amy. It's so nice to see everybody. This is like my connection. I don't know how you guys feel, but I feel like the online connection is what's kind of keeping me going a little bit. So I'm going to jump right into the ideas that I had about setting goals with intention. And I thought about this a lot because we've all had so much time to just think about where we want our life to be and what we really want to accomplish, when we get back out of the barn, let's say. So one of the things that I've found in my life is there are a lot of things I want to accomplish sometimes, and I keep it's almost like being on a hamster wheel where you keep going into wanting to do them, and for some reason they never materialize. You never get to the goal. You never are successful with it. And I think that's because sometimes we have a disconnect between the intention of wanting to do something and the actual actions of doing it. So tonight, my goal is to give you guys some info so that you can align your intentions with action to succeed at whatever it is that you want to do. We're also spiritual and we all realize the power of intention and how, really everything is intention. When we really truly believe in something and we feel the energy of it, we can manifest it into whatever we want it to be. And I think we forget that energy when we want to manifest something that maybe isn't so spiritual or isn't in the spiritual world, whether that's a material possession or a goal at work or a relationship or losing weight. I think it all has to come from the same energy of intention that we put out there. So I don't know if you guys have any questions or anything in particular that, Elisa was in my class today. Oh, great. I'm not repeating it exactly, but I'm just repeating some of the sentiments. So, and you can call me anytime you want to go over anything. So I want to talk a little bit about the intention of something. And I know Elisa is a great manifester. So I hope you join in tonight and tell us how you do some of your things. But when we think of intention, one of the things that's really important is to keep our intentions pure. We all have this fire within us and that flame that really is what we need to feed in order to have our ambition and our desire. And one of the reasons why I named my spiritual company Zencuda is because I think that a healthy life balance is being Zen and also a little bit barracuda, especially about our Zen and our goals and our ambition. You've got to light that fire within you, and you've got to really want something. So in order to do that and have that pure intention that's lit by your passion, by desire, by fire, we've got to really make sure it's authentic. So there's a series of questions that we can actually ask ourselves that kind of define and clarify if our intention is purely ours. Because a lot of times the reasons why we don't succeed at our goals is because we're really not doing them for ourselves. We think we are, and the ego kind of fools us into thinking we are, but it becomes something that's not really personal or relevant to us. An example that I used earlier today was, maybe we want to lose weight, right? So we join Weight Watchers, and our intention is really to stick to the plan and lose weight. But as we're doing this week after week, we focus on the weigh-in. That 5 minutes of the week where we go to Weight Watchers and weigh in becomes our focal point, instead of the overall health of ourselves daily and in every day, and learning to change our habits. And instead we're judging ourselves, and the goal becomes that weigh-in. And soon that weigh-in isn't for us anymore. It's because we don't want to be humiliated and not have lost something. It's because we don't want to let the group down if we're doing it in a group. It's because somebody at home now knows we're on Weight Watchers, or our friends know, and we don't want that disappointment of falling off of it and having to explain it and looking like, we didn't succeed. So it's really important when you align your intention with your goal that you keep it about you and about your fire and feeding that flame within you. And there's a ton of examples I could give you where that's what happens, is we lose sight of the goal because it becomes someone else's. It becomes something focused on something other than ourself and our fire within us. And we've all done that. We do it with a million different things. Oh, that's good, Carrie. I'm glad you tuned in. Hi, Christine. Hi, Joe. I think I said hi, Joanne. I get confused because the feed goes up. Hey, Aaron. So there's questions that we can ask ourselves to make sure that these desire is authentic. Because the first part of trying to set a goal is number one, is setting the goal and deciding what we really want. And how do we do that? Well, we do it with a series of questions. I think it was Tony Robbins who said, quality questions create a quality life. And so these are some of the questions that we're going to ask ourselves. So let me just find my little questions. And the most important thing that we have in existence, in our whole humanity, in our whole life, the most important thing that we have is the fire within us. Without that fire and that passion and that thing that makes you want to throw your legs over the bed in the morning, our lives would just be a blob, a big disappointment of nothing, of depression. So you've got to really feed that fire. So how to figure out what you want? First thing I'll tell you, and this is just my personal opinion, dream big. I've always been a big dreamer. I've always come up with some things that people will tell me I can't do, and that just feeds my flame. I've also been someone who reaches a little bit outside the box. I don't feel like I have anything to prove, but I'm bored by the ordinary. I'm not really interested in accomplishing what other people have accomplished. I'm more interested in accomplishing the extraordinary. And so that's like a really big fire within me. So I always dream big. Might have to pull it back and be realistic at times, but I'm an extreme person and I like to dream big. So I would suggest and encourage you guys all to dream big. Go for something just out of your reach. You can always make it obtainable within the actions of doing it, but why shouldn't we dream big? We're all miraculous creatures of God. Reach for it, So the first thing to do is to find out, what you want, is to generate a list of goals. And when you do that, you're going to find that, you may have a really long list and it may be a bunch of stuff that you want to do, but you'll narrow it down to the realistic ones. But just dream, do your dream list. Think about what would my ideal life be and write it down. You don't have to write a big essay. If you want to, you can, but it could be just even bullet points. The next thing is, what's the most important problem you could work on right now? A lot of times we have a lot of things going on. Like right now, for instance, we're quarantined. We're worried about being sick. Our finances are a little skewy for some people. Our job isn't secure. We may have family issues because we're in a tight space with people we're not usually spending so much time with. A lot of stuff on our plate. We get scattered and we get overwhelmed and confused and we don't know where to go first. So by really prioritizing and asking ourselves, what's the biggest problem I really need to work on now? And just isolate that and focus on that. Because once you have movement with that challenge, then you have more energy for all the other things. The thing that's draining your energy the most is the thing you go to first and you unravel and you make your goal with. What would you do if money was no object? If money were no object, what would you do? And just write that down and ask yourself that question. And you're going to get some really weird answers. I bet that the answers you have probably have nothing to do with money. They're more to do with security. And so maybe your goal isn't making a ton of money or winning lotto. Maybe the goal is paring down life, getting out of debt in a methodical way to obtain the freedom you need to do anything you want. And I know that sounds like a tall order, but there is a way to do that. There's a solution. If you got in, there's a way out. What cause is most important to you? Are you really thinking your cause is health? Is it you want to be able to travel? You want to help, children? You love animals? What cause? What really lights your fire and makes you want to help an underdog or be there for some organization? If you had a day to do anything that you wanted to do, what would you do? Now, this is a great question because right now we have a lot of days to do whatever we want to do as long as it's not travel or something that falls into the restriction. And yet a lot of us are sitting around thinking we're bored, we're restless. This is vital time to be used. And on Thursday, I'm going to do the astrology and I'll have that video for you at 6:30 on the podcast. And the astrology, we have a ton of planets going retrograde. And that is our cue that this is supposed to be now when we sit and pause and really do the work of structuring our goals and trying to figure out the plan of something that didn't work for us before. So dream big and remember, this is your opportunity to create your ideal life. When you start to structure goals, this is your opportunity to write your story. Wipe the slate clean. You have the ability to do and be whatever you want. You just have to work out a few things in your life and make goals to do them. And so after you do that series of questions, that's kind of designed so that you're getting a handle on exactly what you really do want. What do I really want my goals to be? And some of you know that already. So once you do that, then there's other questions that you can ask because that knowing what you want and asking yourself, what do I want? That's your intention. And those questions are designed to kind of smoke out your intention. So now maybe you have your intention, you know what you want to do. Your goal is, I want to earn more money, or I want to lose weight, or I want to move by another year from now, or I want to travel to Italy, or whatever the goal is. It's a broad goal. Intentions can be very broad, like I'm going to increase my business. Okay, but how? How are you going to do that? What's going to happen? And see, that's where most of us lose out on the goal because we have this intention action gap. Like, I'm going to lose weight. We wake up on January 1st every year and like, I'm going to lose 10 pounds this year. Okay, how? And then we never do anything about it. We don't get healthy food. We don't join, a gym or walk every day or do yoga. We just have this intention that's hanging out there. So there's questions that you can ask, right? Remember, Tony Robbins said, quality questions, quality life, right? There's questions you can ask that'll help you set your clear goal towards action. And this is choice and motivation. So first is intention. You set your intention. What do I really want? And you ask yourself the questions that we just went over. Then number two is really analyze your choices and motivation. Everything we do in life is a choice. We have a choice to set a goal or not set a goal. We have a choice to eat an English muffin or a bowl of strawberries. We have a choice to be overweight or not. We have a choice to be healthy or not. We have a choice to be in good relationships or not. Everything's a choice. Goals are choice. Remember, it's our chance to write our story, right? So once we have the idea and the intention set, then we want to kind of vet it out and make sure its choice and motivation is relevant to us and really in our heart. It's authentic. Because remember what we said in the beginning, a lot of times we have these intentions, but they're not really ours. They're for somebody else, or they're based on something someone else is doing, or we see someone else doing it and we think that would be good to do too. So this is how you decide if the choice and the motivation is really yours. First question, when you're making this goal, right? Am I standing in my power or trying to please another? That is a big one. It could be anything from a job that you take to a move you make, where you live. Are you doing it because that's truly what you want and it sets your soul on fire and it makes you passionate about it? Or are you just giving in to someone else? The same thing with like the foods you consume. Are you eating the things you really want to eat, or are you just eating things because your partner eats that way? It could be a million different things, but make sure that your goal is something that you really want for yourself. That travel you want to do, or the money you want to save, or the relationship you want to manifest. Make sure it's based on your personal relevancy. Will this choice propel me forward into the future or keep me stuck in the past? That's a huge one, especially when it comes to relationships. We have a Venus retrograde coming up, and that's going to bring back a lot of people from our past for many of our signs, many of the zodiac signs. So I always get clients who call and they say, oh, so-and-so just came back into my life. This is fated. It's meant to be. Well, maybe they're coming back into your life to clarify a lesson or finish something. It doesn't mean this is the be-all, end-all love of your life. So ask yourself, when you go into those choices of being with that person, spending time with that person or not, is this really something that's going to make me go forward into my future, or is this something I'm doing to repeat being stuck in the past? Huge one, huge one. How many times we find ourselves in the same place, not even just with relationships, but with like jobs. We'll change jobs and then our boss turns out to be just like the last one because we're just making the same choices over and over again. So really make sure that your choices are propelling you forward. Is this a catalyst for growth, or will I end up beating myself up? I see this a lot in parental relationships where you give in and you do something for your parents, or your parents might be older, and so you sacrifice yourself to do a lot for them, and you think that's the right choice, but you're not included in that choice. You're making that choice entirely on their benefit, and then you start to build up resentment, and you start to beat yourself up thinking, oh, I'm a bad daughter, I'm a bad son. Well, you made the wrong choice to begin with. You set a goal to care for them in a way that was too much. It was too much of an expectation. So the goal that you make, especially in relationships, has to be one that doesn't end up beating you up afterwards. Another example of that is sometimes with children, like we help them out too much or we give them too much money, and then we resent their choices with it. So make sure the choices and the goals you set, what kind of person you want to be in a relationship, isn't something that you're sabotaging yourself and beating yourself up about later on. I don't know if anybody out there does that, but I think we see that a lot. Oh, thanks, Michelle. I love you too. I haven't seen you in ages. I hope I see you when we're let out of our cages. John, Kelly, Monica, Beth, Deb, Michael, thank you for joining us. And chime in if anybody has any questions or anything. So by asking ourselves these questions, we kind of stay on track and check in with what we said in the beginning, that your intention has to be personal and it has to be something that is your desire and lights your fire. Because if it doesn't, we're just setting ourselves up for failure. We're not going to stay on goal. We're not going to do it. We're not going to lose the weight, save the money, travel to wherever, better ourselves in any way, because we're focused on the other. A couple of other questions along choice and motivation. Is this going to bring me long-term fulfillment or instant gratification? That is a great thing to utilize that question when you're trying to make choices about addictions, when you're trying to make, and that can be food, alcohol, anything, and it's also a great question to ask when you want to buy something. You're trying to set a goal like, oh, I want this new car, I want whatever. Is it really because that's something that you really enjoy and you're a car enthusiast and this really pushes your buttons and gives you beautiful joy in your life and re-energizes you? Or is it just kind of an impulsive thing because the neighbor just got one and you want to be gratified? So you see where I'm going with this. Like, really make sure that your goals are authentic to who you are and that they have a space in that flame inside of you. Will this add to my energy or drain me? That's a really big one when we set our goals, because a lot of times if we're setting goals because everyone else is doing it, or we feel obligated to set this goal because someone else is watching us or expecting it from us, it ends up draining us. And we end up building resentment. And what will drain you faster than anything is resentment. So make sure, again, by looking at our choices, we clearly define that the goal is really meaningful to us and has that place in our fire. You know, for those of you who do go camping, what happens when you don't stoke the fire and you just let it go and you're really not that interested in the fire? It goes out. Your flame dies, right? Well, we need that flame. We need that campfire for survival. That's what makes us want to do all of the things. That's our life force. So your goals have to have a connection with your life force. They have to have a connection with that burning desire of what you really want to do. And then, is this an act of self-love or self-sabotage? We sabotage ourselves in so many ways. And it's sad because we really should honor ourselves and honor our soul. But every day in a million different little ways, we don't do that. So sometimes when you're trying to set a goal, make sure the choice really is something out of self-love, that you're not doing it out of obligation, out of a need to be liked, out of that you want to fit in with the crowd, that kind of thing. Make sure, again, your choices are really authentic. And the last one is my favorite one, my biggest one, the one that taught me the most lessons in my life. And that is this an act of fear or faith? There are so many times that we make choices and we set goals out of positions of vulnerability. You know, like I just said, we want to be liked, or we feel obligated, or we feel guilty, or we just think that, well, you know, especially when we're young and we're coming out of college and our parents are kind of watching us to see we want to be successful. And so we make choices to please others. We set goals that really aren't ours. And then we wake up at midlife and we're like, I really never wanted to do that, but I rose to the occasion, you know, whatever it might be. That's because we're fearful. We're fearful of humiliation. We're fearful of being judged. We're fearful of not being liked. We're fearful we won't fit in. And so our goals become not authentic. And after a while, not only do we sometimes build up resentment, but we can't complete them because we're really not that interested in them. They're not setting us on fire. We don't have that burning desire connecting us to them. So they have to be deeply rooted in that flame within you and deeply rooted in sincere intention for your goals to be successful. So how do we marry that intention with action, that deep, sincere intention? We've vetted out what our desire really is, right? We now have gone and had a conversation with ourselves about this goal being authentic and really suiting us and being for our benefit and really propelling our life forward. It's not something that's repetitive or that's going to stick us in the past or that we're just doing out of fear. And now the next step is to take that truly authentic intention and the desire that you have to do that particular goal that you've identified and marry it with action. And this is the step, that intention-action gap that most of us fall off from. And there's a couple of reasons we do this. I think it's 40% of the goals that we make are made out of habit. And 40% of our actions are made out of habit, I'm sorry. So when we think about that and we're trying to, oftentimes when we set a goal, trying to change habit, that's a tall order to change something. And again, that's why it has to be deeply rooted in your sincerity and in your flame. So where most goals fall short is the frustration sets in when we are not authentic to them, when we don't have a link to them in alignment with them. But a lot of times we also think there's no point in doing it if no one else is doing it. And what I can tell you is my life's pretty much been built on zigging when everyone's zagging. So I never look at what other people are doing. You get sucked into that really easily. Many times in the spiritual world, I'll find that we're all kind of on the same wavelength, the same frequency, and we'll start doing the same things. That's because we read the energy, and that's the energy out in the world. It's not because we're watching each other and stealing ideas. It's because we're all divinely connected, and we all get the same messages. How we interpret them is our uniqueness. So when I usually, if I'm working, if I'm writing, or if I'm really doing content, which is a big goal of mine in this business that I'm in with Zenkuda, I never look at the news feeds. I never look at what other people are doing. In my three-dimensional life, when I'm doing real estate, I do the same thing. I never look at the competitors because I know that will skew my goals. It will fake me out because I'll start to see something someone's doing and I'll be like, oh, wow, I should do that. If they're doing that, I can do that. Oh, wait, let me look at that. That's a great idea. Let me try that out. That would be good for me to do. Not if it's not yours. Not if it's not linked to your authentic, sincere intention. It will never work. It will never work because you didn't link it with that beautiful flame of desire that you have within you that is spirit and is divinely guided. So don't get in that habit of thinking there's no point in doing something unless someone else is doing it. Be unique. And by the same token, don't do it just because other people are doing it. A perfect example of that is you wake up on a Saturday and you want to clean out the garage, and that's your goal. And you've bought all this cleaning equipment, you've gotten cartons, and you know you're going to do it. You set your action plan. And you wake up and you realize you're feeling kind of lazy. You eat a bagel for breakfast, it weighs you down. And you start looking around your neighbors and you realize none of them use their garage. Their garages are all packed with bicycles and the kids' stuff and all kinds of stuff. So why should I clean out my garage? There's nothing wrong with not cleaning out my garage. I'm just going to go back to bed. You don't do the goal because no one else is doing it. So you think it's okay. So don't fall into that trap. Another thing that falls into this trap, we fall into this trap with, and that separates the action from the intention from action and creates the gap, is we get really present and we actually have a bias towards the present. Now, I know I predict being present all the time, but this is a little different. This is, we lose sight of the future benefit. Like dieting, we know there's a future benefit and we know how great we're going to look if we lose weight, blah, blah, blah. But the cupcake that someone just put in front of us is actually more important to us than the future. And that's what we call presence bias, because we're biased over the present action. It takes more weight, it carries more importance to us, and we're not looking down the road. So when you have a goal, keep that focal point of desire on the end game, on your outcome. It doesn't matter what is tempting you to be out of the goal in the present moment. Your goal sequence is the focal point at the end. It's your outcome. That's your focal point of desire. So, and the other thing is a lot of times we find the task too difficult and we can't follow through. That's why it's really important when you link your goal with intention, really important to make sure it's not only sincere, but that it's, you understand yourself. And when it comes time to make your action plan, you know what you're capable of doing and know what you want to do. If you're not a morning person and your goal is to go to the gym every day at 5:30, probably not going to work. So understand yourself and know what the goal is going to be, and as far as the action steps. So then this is how you do your action steps. And this is kind of the outcome. So you've got your intention, you've got your desire, your motivation and choice, which is your desire. You're going to vet that out. And then the third step, it's 3 steps. The third step is action. So when you do your action plan about the goal, you want to be as specific as possible, because this is also where we fall off. Like, we may have this really great intention, I'm going to walk every day, but we have no comfortable shoes in our closet. So part of your action plan is, I'm going to the mall and I'm going to buy sneakers and I'm going to start walking Tuesday morning at 7 a.m. And so it gets very specific. Every time you do something in action towards that goal, it becomes more real. So that's how you do it. You have to break it down to the smallest action step for the goal and then complete each one of those so that you know you're doing the goal. Write it down, keep a schedule, you can put it on your phone, keep a journal, and also track your results. This is called the execution of the goal. And I will tell you, some of the most brilliant business minds that I have worked with have had amazing intention. They've had amazing motivation. They come up with a great action plan, but they never execute it. And that's where the success or failure, really the outcome is in the execution. So make yourself a pattern, make yourself a schedule. You know, I am a big list maker, not because that comes naturally to me, but I had to learn that skill in order to be successful. I don't have my book in here, but I was going to show you. Now that I'm home, I have a book that I write in. And on Sunday evening, I take a half hour and I map up my whole schedule for that week as though I'm going to the office. Like Tuesday, I'm going to be in my home office at 10 a.m. I'm going to work on the computer with some stuff 10 to 12, going to eat lunch. Then I'm going to, go for a really beautiful walk. And at 3 o'clock, I'm going to be back at my desk and work till 6. Like every day is different. Some days, certain days of the week are earmarked for real estate, which I do as my profession. And then other days are for Zenkuda and my spiritual business, which is my vocation. So I have it all mapped out. And it's really funny. I know it sounds anal, but that has kept me so on track because I get like so distracted and scattered at home. And then I go back to the book and I'm like, oh, okay, today I was going to work on that. All right, I forgot. And it really works. So that keeps me on my goal. So when you marry your intention with action, the outcome becomes successful. And drill it down into the lowest common denominator. Make it fun and personally relevant, because you're not going to do something you hate doing. So understand yourself when you make your goals. Know your limitations, know your personality, know what you like to do. If you make a goal that you absolutely hate, chances are it's temporary. It's not going to be a life change. And keep realigning your strategy. When I first started doing my schedule, I realized that it was very hard for me on a particular day to do a certain thing. So I switched that around and made that day something different. So, don't be afraid. Be psychologically flexible and also flexible in your scheduling. Drill the action down to the smallest task. We said that because that's where we get hung up too. Like, okay, I'm going to make a bunch of flyers on the computer for something, and then we don't have any ink. So put that on your task list, buy ink, because it's an obstacle if you don't address it. So all those obstacles add up to failure. And write down your schedule of tasks and then keep track of the results and the progress. The reason why I say that is because that's why I make lists. I really am not a list person. I really don't like lists per se, but the thing I do like about lists is checking stuff off. It makes me feel really accomplished and not like a loser. And so like I didn't do something that day. And so I have a list and I check my stuff off every day. Not all of it. Some of it gets put on the next day's list all the time, but that's okay because I can see I did do something. I did accomplish some things and I'm moving forward in my life. And so just be specific. And then the last part of this is one of my mentors taught me this a few years ago. And I have really, it changed my life. And that was, he taught me to write a statement of intention for your life. And it really hit home for me because, I'm entrepreneurial and I've owned businesses in my life. And I always write a mission statement for any business that I've ever created. And I never thought to write one for my life, which is kind of funny, right? That would be even more important. So he said, yeah, write a statement of intention for your life. I can tell you all that my statement of intention for my life is very simple. It's based on the word profit, which means you touch something and make it better. And so that's always in the forefront of my mind is, if I meet someone or I touch someone or I'm working with someone or I'm on a project or, whatever it is, painting a room, whatever, I want to leave it better than I found it. I want to leave someone that I have a connection with better than I found them. I want them to leave me evolved and with growth. And so that's my life intention, is to make everything a little better than the way I found it. And hopefully the world will be a better place when I leave it than it was when I came in some very small little corner, So that's my life intention. And so what happens is that becomes an anchor for every goal I do, because I ask myself, does this fit in with my agenda for my life intention? And that's how you keep it together, is just by making your life that beautiful goal of your simple life mission and life intention and balancing that with everything that you do. So I don't know if anybody has any questions or comments they want to chime in. Hi, Lisa. Hi, Jackie. Hi, RJ. Hi, Michael Zinn. I missed some Zinn stuff. I have questions for you too, because I'm trying to do all this camera stuff from home. Mel, Kathleen. Yeah, it's all about being balanced. And I think what happens is sometimes we make goals and they're really not balanced goals because they're not anchored in our own authenticity. So goals have nothing to do with anyone else. I'll tell you that right now. Anytime in my life, I always tried to emulate someone and didn't make it mine. It never worked. It has to be completely uniquely yours. And when you put that authenticity out into the world, just watch the success that happens. It's amazing. So I don't know. I'll wait a few minutes if anybody has anything they want to chime in about. And also the other thing I was going to say, I'm going to look at my notes here. I had some things I wrote down, me in my notes. Visualization. Visualization is huge for me. I usually visualize at night before I go to sleep because I feel the subconscious actually does, in a way, propel us in our life. And a lot of times we go to sleep and have worries and troubles and we're letting them, come into our mind before sleep. Don't ever do that. Picture your ideal life before you go to sleep every night, because that will also anchor your goals. So I was talking before about choice and motivation and how we choose our goals, and it is a choice. Everything we do is life is a choice. Every choice creates more of us, right? So think about the fact that when you make a choice and it's consistent with your heart's desire, with your flame, with your campfire, right? You get powerful, you get empowered. When you make a choice because of something or someone else, or for not an authentic reason, you lose power. And that's why you never get to the goal and you never succeed, because you're not empowered to do it. You're losing power somewhere. And there's a billion different examples of that. You know, like I said, even if you use the Weight Watchers or the diet weigh-in scenario, now the focal point became the weigh-in, the fear of humiliation, the fear of disappointment, instead of getting healthy every day, which is what your heart really wants. So you see how you marry the intention with the desire of your heart and that flame, and that makes you powerful enough to do it. Our choice can make us powerful or powerless, and that's where we choose. So choose the fire that's going to make you powerful. I read a book when I was 18 years old, Napoleon Hill, Think and Grow Rich. He also has Success Through a Positive Mental Attitude Bibles for me. Like I said, read him when I was 18, completely changed my life because he taught me about Napoleon Hill, who wrote these books in the 1920s, kind of like The Secret before it was a secret. He taught me in those books about a burning desire and matching your intention with your real, something you absolutely have to love, you can't not do. And that's how you set goals. We all had something that when we were a child, we loved to do and gave us joy. Think about that and what that feeling was and what can give you that in your life now. That's your goal. That is something in there that is your goal. So I'm just looking. Visualization is huge, absolutely huge. Hi, Angelique. How are you? So I think that was everything. But those questions that I said in the beginning, anyone wants to PM me, I'll send you a PDF of those. Those questions are really important questions because they're questions I use in my life coaching, believe it or not. And they're questions that give you clarity. When you really sit down, even just ask yourself the question, am I acting out of fear or of faith? That question alone will tell you exactly what's authentic to you. And the other question, if I had to choose two, the other one would be, am I doing this to propel myself forward, or am I getting stuck in the past? We love, as human beings, to be comfortable in our past. We love the creature comfort. We love to try and recreate something that made us feel good once for 5 seconds 30 years ago. Move forward and find what really is going to float you now, you know? And there's a book that I would also throw out to you guys if you really want to master goal setting, is Deborah Ford wrote a book called The Right Questions. And it's a beautiful book. It's work. It's soul work. It's not easy. Of course, nothing in life ever having is. So if you wanted to really follow up this kind of presentation, that would be the way to go. So yeah, I do life coaching. I've always done life coaching, but I've never put it out there. It's just been basically for private clients who approach me. I'm actually wrote a program now that I'm putting out. It's an 8-week program. If you're interested, just PM me. It goes into all 8 branches of wellness, and you get an hour a week with me, completely one-on-one, and then 2 15-minute phone calls. And it covers emotional, spiritual, intellectual, physical, environmental, financial, occupational, and social. Those are the 8 branches of wellness that I have certification in. So if anybody wants to reach out and wants to learn more about goal setting or anything, or anything I can help you with, just let me know. Does anybody have any questions or anything they want to comment on? I know a lot of you have goals that you're working on. Be balanced about it. Hey, we're missing John Minetta tonight. He's always on here. I hope he's okay. I gotta call him. So that's it, guys, I guess. Anything? I hope I didn't bore you. Okay, you're awful quiet. Somebody say something. because I know there's always a 2-minute delay. All right, I guess that's it then. If anybody can think of anything else they want to talk about, I'm going to be on Thursday evening at 6:30. I actually am going to be doing all the astrology because May is a huge astrological month. We've got a ton of retrogrades coming, which are a little tough, but nothing we can't handle. Oh, thanks, Monica. Nothing we can't handle. And I'll be on Thursday night, 6:30 on govsradio.com. And of course, we share that on Facebook. If you think this video could help someone, please share it. And if you're interested in the life coaching program, give me a call. I also do astrological charts and readings. I am a psychic medium. So you can find me on zenkuda.com. And oh, you're welcome, Joanne. Hi, Love Bug. I want to work with Kim. So that's it, everybody. And I hope I didn't come off as too preachy tonight, but I get very excited about goals. And most of the things that I know about goal setting are trial and error, and I just want you guys to really benefit from some of my errors so that you don't waste time doing some things that just don't work. And if you can really just marry your intentions with that flame in your heart and don't let your campfire go out, your goals will be perfect. Gillian, the book was The Right Questions by Deborah Ford. I think it's Deborah. Hold on one sec. I read so many books, I can never remember my authors. Deborah Ford, F-O-R-D, and it's The Right Questions. That book was a little bit life-changing for me. I actually read that after a major change in my life, and it really clarified and put me on the right track for a lot of things. So it was just really great. And also, I wanted just to put out there, like I said, I'm going to do the astrology on Thursday night, so I hope you all tune in. Like Kim was just saying, she loves my excitement. I'm not bored. I know I keep hearing a lot of people are bored and restless during this time. Don't be. That's also a choice. Now is a beautiful time for us to write the next chapter of our life. I mean, how often do we get 6 weeks off? I know a lot of you are still working or working part-time, but this to me has in a way been a gift. Not the optimal circumstances. Thank God I'm healthy. There is a lot of, death and sickness out there. Not my favorite thing, of course. And I pray for everybody every day. But this has really been a luxury for me to be able to plot and plan the next course of my life and really be in touch with spirit. I have an altar in my home I pray at every day. Make a little place in your home where you connect and just be out there and be into that beautiful connection with spirit, because I think that's what this time is made for. So I'll see you guys all Thursday night at 6:30, govsradio.com and here on Zenkuda. And if you think this video is decent or any good to anybody, maybe help somebody in the world, just share it. Thanks so much. I love you all. Good night.